When you went back and looked at the film from Wednesday's game, what stuck out to you?
Oh, let me backtrack. Wednesday's game. I've moved on, turned the page. We did a lot of good things, not enough to win the ball game. We're a team that can really get out and burn you in transition. I thought we did a good job of limiting their production in terms of transition baskets. I thought we did a good job offensively. Shot the ball well, but more so in the paint. Shot the ball okay, but more so in the paint. I was pleased with how many we scored in the paint, with our guards being able to get in the lane and make layups.
And just in terms of just getting better production out of the defense, and like these past 3 games here, each of the opponents have shot over 50%. What can you guys do to maybe tighten that up just a little bit more?
We got to keep people in front of us.
Yeah.
I mean, that's easier said than done, but that's just what we have to do. We have to have maximum concentration when we're in front of that basketball. And sometimes we close out and we don't have a great angle. When we close out, they drive around us. We have to do a better job in containing the ball screen. Sometimes in our switches, we don't switch quick enough, and those are allowing teams to get to the rim on us more than they should. But that's what we've got to work on more than anything.
Did that show up a lot against Oregon, or like that part of it? It seemed that you did a really nice job of the switching the defense from the.
It was more against Cal.
Yeah.
But I thought we improved. I thought we made improvements. We didn't win the game, but we made improvements, no doubt, against Oregon. From Stanford to Cal to Oregon, we definitely have made some improvements. So we have to continue to try to make those improvements, make progress.
And then I guess when you guys play a team like Oregon State, are you expecting those same things? Because they play these close games, defensive games as well. They're not an offensive juggernaut, if you will.
Well, Cal hadn't been either in their recent games, but we did a very poor job against them, and they became better that night. We can't let that happen against Oregon State. Wherever they are offensively, we can't allow them to have their biggest offensive output all of a sudden against us. We've got to guard, and we got to stay in front of them and do all the things necessary to have a good defensive outing. But we need to have that. Right now, it's so crazy. Earlier in the year, we were at times having trouble scoring, and we just were a lot better defensively, and we were able to get through. Now, we're not as good defensively, and we've been scoring. So we have to continue to try to do that. Oregon State obviously plays some stingy defense, so we're going to have to find ways to put the ball in the basket as well as not let them go and score more points than they've scored recently.
You saw them here already. What is it that they do that's so effective defensively?
They don't gamble. They're disciplined. Yet, with Gary Payton, too, out there, he's pretty good at getting steals and forcing turnovers. Those guys are in position. They almost wait for you to make a mistake, and they pounce on it when that happens. And that's kind of how they get turnovers. After a while, you can get antsy and grow impatient, not getting in the paint because they're packing it in that zone, and you can tend to force things. And that they change their defenses. They give you it's zone basic. They have a basic look, but they can adjust and give you different looks within it. Sometimes that can get teams to think. Sometimes when you think, you're not playing basketball, and consequently you turn that ball over.
I apologize if you covered this before Eugene, but what was the gain and loss in the logistics of breaking this up into 2 trips?
Go to class. From a basketball perspective, the Wednesday to Sunday road trips, I don't think teams fare very well. You're just gone for so long. Because if you play Wednesday, you don't play again until Sunday, you actually are gone Tuesday. That's a long time. But here's the thing, it's the other end, the back end, where you play, if you play Wednesday, Sunday, or even Thursday, Sunday, then you come back and you have to play Wednesday. You have to take one day off in a week, so you don't get a whole lot of practice time in between. But breaking it up this way, still, guys are in their own beds, a little more of a routine here. And if it were going down to Los Angeles, coming back, and going back to Los Angeles, that's a different story. But we're just right around the corner. So this worked out. I think this will work out better.
Just strictly as a basketball coach, you miss just a pretty much clockwork Thursday, Saturday that you used to have?
Oh, yeah, yeah. But before we whine as coaches in this league, we have to remember that we whine more than anything about having better television coverage. And that's the source of all this. That's why we're having so many different days playing, and we have so many. I think we may have more Sunday games than anyone. You know, the long Wednesday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday. But at the same time, we can't totally complain because that's the price we pay for getting the television coverage that we're getting with the Pac-12 network.
They should find me on Sunday when the Seahawks aren't playing.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah.
Hey, did Oregon and Young, did he do anything in particular to just get going, and you know, was there something about just the way that he played that was just really hard to corral and contain him?
Initially, I thought he really got going in the second half, but he scored 15 in the first half, and I think, you know, he hit the game winner. So he was equally as effective in both halves. But I think early on, we started out in zone, missed a couple coverages, and he got going, got in the rhythm early. And that's always dangerous if you're playing against someone that's a scorer and then you hit their first couple of shots.